Hello, I'm Sid Charisse.
And I'm Benjamin, and we are La Vignola. We actually own and operate a private tour company called Nouvelle Lyon 1718 Private Tours. And oftentimes on our tours, we're asked about our favorite restaurants, suggestions on our favorite places to eat in the city. And instead of telling you guys, we figured we'd bring you to them. So our first restaurant we're going to review tonight is actually one of our favorite, and it's called GW Fins. I'm sure a lot of people who have been to New Orleans know this one, but we are excited to go back ourselves. Plus, we have extra reason to celebrate because, well, it is this one's birthday tonight.
Cheers.
So we are headed out the door, and of course, in true fashion, we are extremely late. So we're gonna get back to you guys as soon as we get back and kind of break down what we thought about the restaurant and give our review. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. So GW Fins is located on Bienville in the French Quarter, and it opened its doors in March of 2001. Now, it's locally owned and operated by Gary Willerman and his family, and along with executive chef Michael Nelson, it's really become one of the most highly rated restaurants in New Orleans and really in the U.S. The wine list is massive. It's actually been awarded the prestigious Wine Spectator's Award of Excellence every year since 2002. But actually, before the wine, I had to try a cocktail, of course. I decided on the Ruler, made with Hendrick's, St. Elder lemon, simple syrup, and Peychaud's bitters. And this was a pretty nice cocktail. The flavors paired really well together. It was balanced and not too sweet. The only real issue is it went down way too fast.
And I just went with a glass of the 2023 La Crema Chardonnay. It was a light, crisp glass of wine that I thought would pair nicely with my fish.
So no joke, one reason, one of the many, that we come to GW Fins often is because of the wonderful biscuits.
These biscuits were actually awarded Best Restaurant Biscuits in Louisiana. They are homemade drop biscuits. There's a server that walks through the dining room with a tray of hot biscuits, passing them out as many as you'd like. And this time of year, they actually sell them $10 for a mix, and you can give them out as great holiday gifts. One special thing about this restaurant too is that their menu changes nightly. They don't receive their catch of the day until 4, and so it's not until that point that they can actually conceptualize the offerings for that night. And their menu philosophy is simple. They like to say nature writes the menu.
So it's a must every time we go to GW to get the lobster dumplings. I dream about these things. It's whitefish, mousseline, tomatoes, lobster butter, and it is creamy, it is delicious. Every time we go, we have to get the lobster dumplings.
We also got the firecracker tuna tacos, and these are served with a ginger slaw, wasabi tobiko, and avocado aioli. And these were really delicious. They were crunchy. The ginger slaw and the wasabi tobiko gave it a nice punch, and then the avocado aioli really just softened and gave it a nice creamy finish.
Wound up at a 4.5 star rating for the appetizers. So I went with the Atlantic flounder for my entree. It had a hazelnut crust, roasted Brussels sprouts, white sweet potatoes, green apples, and brown butter. It was $37. This had a nice crunch on it from the hazelnut, and I was already sold on this dish just because of the caramelized Brussels sprouts. It did pair nicely with the flaky, buttery fish, and of course, it was all set off by the sweetness of the brown butter. So this was really good. I paired it with the Louis Jadot Puy Fouizé 2023 glass of Chardonnay, which I really enjoyed. This was a great choice of wine. It was a kind of a rich Chardonnay, but it did really pair incredibly well with my fish.
I went with the American Red Snapper, and the snapper is pan-seared with Louisiana shrimp creole, long grain rice, and crispy okra. The sear on the snapper was fantastic. It was a nice crispy, flaky crust, paired with the Gulf shrimp, and then finished with that flash-fried okra, which I wasn't expecting, but it really was bite that had a punch of flavor and really brought it all together. I love this dish. A must for dessert is the salty malty ice cream pie. It has a pretzel crust and caramel whipped cream. And upon first bite, I didn't know what to expect, but the cold ice cream hit me first, and then the flavor of the caramel, and then the salt on the back end of it. I mean, this was what dreams are made of. This is a fantastic dessert.
I don't need to really say anything else there. This received a 5 out of 5. What really blows my mind is this is the first time, and the many times we've been to GW Fins, that we tried this. It will not be the last. So our total for the evening came, after tip, just over $200, which for the value of this meal we thought was excellent.
So the service was very good. I wouldn't say excellent, but very, very good. Our server was very warm, gracious, very helpful. We did have to flag him down a couple times, so that would be the only negative point that I would mention. But as far as the server's assistant, the gentleman with the biscuits, everyone was really fantastic. Lots of anticipatory opportunities while we were dining. Overall, we give this service a 4 out of 5.
So I wanted to talk about the ambiance a little bit because I thought it was wonderful. I mean, the restaurant itself had just gone through a big renovation, so I thought it was beautiful. There are a lot of blue and white colors. There's a lot of exposed brick and wood elements that are involved in the restaurant. As far as that went, it was absolutely stunning. The booth that we sat in was very comfortable. I think the only knock I would say about ambiance was the noise. So like many restaurants in New Orleans, unfortunately the noise levels are just going to be up there, and this is definitely one of them. So, and it's not necessarily an awful thing or a bad thing. It's just something we thought we should mention because it is pretty loud in that restaurant.
Be aware of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I believe we gave ambiance a 4 out of 5 as well. All right, guys. So you've kind of seen our rating system, and that's what we're gonna try to do at each one of these restaurants we head to, actually. So. Drinks, cocktails, obviously, we're going to rate on, again, the appetizers, the entrees, service aspect, and of course, ambiance. So all in all, when it came to the final score, when we added everything up here with GW, the final rating came to a 4 1/4 rating out of 5 for GW Fins, which we thought was excellent, actually. So we're not going to be all that harsh with our rating system, but at the end of the day, I think this being our first one, that's a pretty darn good rating, and we definitely do suggest a GW Fins.
This restaurant is so special. The owners are great people. The servers are really passionate about what they do. The chef obviously is extremely passionate about the menu. And you never know what you're going to get, but it's always going to be great. So highly recommend.
And I think you're going to find that in New Orleans is definitely going to be a theme here. So we're really looking forward to bringing you guys more. By the way, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. We really appreciate it. And as always,
C'est la vie.